My name is Eunjol Lim, and today I'm gonna talk about photosynthesis impact on ecosystems. So first, in my research, I mainly research about Gulf of Mexico's that zone, and that zone is an area where water has very low rate of oxygen, and it happens where oxygen drops below the level of organisms cannot live anymore. So the Gulf of Mexico's that zone appear every summer, and I'm going to tell you what causes the that zone. So that zone occur mostly because of access to nutrients like nitrogen and phosphorus, and these nutrients come from farms like fertilizers, lawns, golf courses, and sewage and soil erosion. And storm waters and rivers carry these nutrients downstreams to Gulf of Mexico. And I'm going to tell you about how nutrients affect the algae. So first, when the water has a lot of nutrients, algae grow faster than usual, and this is called eutrophication. Excess nutrients leads to excessive plants and algae growth. So, which means that if they have a lot of nutrients, they will grow a lot. And the algal bloom blocks the sunlight for other organisms deeper in the water. And so I'm going to tell you about what happens after the bloom. So a lot of algae eventually will die and sink to the bottom. And as you know about the decomposition, bacteria will decompose the dead algae, and decomposition will use up the oxygen in the water. And when oxygen drops too low, fish and other organisms are not able to survive. And I provide a simple food chain. So this is plankton, jellyfish, bluefin tuna, and loggerhead turtle, and great hammerhead shark. So these are our perfect food chain, but when there are low oxygen, organisms like bluefin tuna and loggerhead turtle will move away or die, which ruins the ecosystem food chain. So I brought a real that zone data. So this is the map, and this graph shows the area of low oxygen water in the northern Gulf of Mexico. So in this part, red is the most worst part and green is the most good part. And so I'm going to tell you what the data shows. So NOAA measured the Gulf of Mexico's dust zone every year, and they found out that that zone changes size every year, but is still much larger than the long-term target for scientists want to reach. And that zone is not only about the natural disasters or like soil erosion, it's also including a human impact. So human nutrient pollution mostly comes from agriculture like fertilizer runoff, and urban runoff from lawns and streets also causes the death zone. And sewage discharge also carries nutrients to the death zone. And I'm going to tell you why it matters. So when oxygen level is low, it makes hard for fish, shrimp, crabs, and shellfish to survive, and mobile animals can run away, but animals cannot run away, so they eventually will die. And this will disrupt the food chain and harms the commercial fishing industries. So I brought a solution. So I think reducing nutrient pollution can help shrink the death zone. So solutions are reducing fertilizer use, protecting wetlands that absorbs nutrient, and we should have better wastewater treatment, and all of those solutions will help decrease the dust zone. And also, not only about the agriculture, there are climate change impacts. So warmer water holds less oxygen, and it leads to hypoxia worse. So hypoxia is when oxygen level goes below to 2 milligrams per liter, and increased rainstorms may increase nutrients runoff from the land, and also climate change may make future dead zones bigger and worse. So in my presentation, we have three main important parts. So too many nutrients from human activities cause algal blooms, and second, algae grows too fast and then die, decomposing using oxygen, and low oxygen water make it harder to marine life to live. This disrupts the entire food chain and harms the fisheries, so we should fix this problem. As I told you in here, what else? Yes, as I told you in here. So thank you for listening, and these are my references. And I use ChatGPT for this, but I've looked for my own resources. Thank you.